Hi, and welcome to Tim and Joel's Weekly Draw. Joel, on a scale of Bray Wyatt versus Seth Rollins and a big dumb hammer DQ to 1998 when The Undertaker threw Mankind off the Hell in a Cell, plummeting him through the announcer's table, how excited are you for localized hell tonight?
Okay, I got onto you. I know that this was coming.
No.
I spent weeks and weeks thinking about it and planning it, and I have my answer. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Rikishi being chokeslammed off the cell by The Undertaker at Armageddon in the year 2000 in Alabama. Did I get it right?
That is the perfect answer, Joel. I had no idea you were going to say that, and I'm elated.
Perfect. Let's talk about Hell in a Cell.
Let's talk about it.
Tim, we waited until the last possible minute to do these predictions because, quite frankly, we've heard everyone else say that they're waiting for more matches from WWE.com, and so are we. And then eventually we got to literally 6 hours before the show starts, and we realized, oh, they're probably not announcing anything else until, let's say, 3 o'clock before the pre-show. So, with that in mind, we have 5 matches, and while we waited for one more, there are none.
Nope.
So shall we, Tim?
We shall.
Let's get into it. Elias is taking on Jeff Hardy. Well, we saw Elias, who's set to debut a new album releasing on Monday, which, quite frankly, I am just ecstatic for.
It is some capable dad rock. I will tell you that. Good job, Elias.
Absolutely. And on a side note, I will be on Fightful's The Distraction podcast this Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern to discuss with Jeremy Lambert and Joe Holbert the entire album. Because you know what? Jeremy and Joe don't know any other musicians but me.
Very fun. That's awesome.
Yeah, it should be a good time. So check it out. You know what? Jeff Hardy, speaking of the Elias concert from Monday, he interrupted that concert and threw a guitar, or at least tried to throw a guitar at Elias. Now, here's my big question. Does Elias watch the WWE product?
Clearly, no. Not a big. Yes. He's been busy in the studio. He's probably woodshedding. You know what? Like just out in the forest, writing his dad rock. Hasn't been in the loop. Got hit by that car and was just like, I'm out for a while.
And that's the thing. Elias still believes that Hardy drove the car that took him out of action this past May. So, meanwhile, Hardy's proved on WWE programming that he had nothing to do with it. So, with all that in mind, Tim, who's going to win the match?
Jeff Hardy.
I'm going with Elias. He's a man with a new album who has everything to prove. Jeff
Hardy
can take the loss.
I believe so, and I think that Elias deserves it. He's been nothing but a punching bag for a long time, and I don't care for it. I'm here for heel Elias.
There we go. I think we can agree with that.
One question, though. Is his album dropping on Tuesday?
His album's dropping on Monday.
That's not the day when albums come out.
It is now.
I'm a musician. You're a musician. Music comes out on Fridays now. It used to be Tuesday.
We're in a pandemic. Music comes out whenever the hell it wants.
Okay, whatever. Elias is okay.
For the record, Elias also has to deal with Adele's new record and Ariana Grande's new record, among others, that day.
Okay, well, I don't think those audiences overlap. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know what dad rock listens to anymore.
Probably Adele. Everyone
probably Adele.
Yeah.
You know who definitely listens to Adele? Otis.
Oh, I was going to say The Miz.
No, Otis is a very sensitive human being. And that's why.
Secretly, The Miz is too.
Oh, well, I mean, you see him on Miz and Mrs. He definitely has a few touchy sides to himself. Unless he's talking to his mother-in-law. Anyway, Otis is going to be taking on The Miz, putting the Money in the Bank briefcase on the line. Now, we saw them face off in court this past Friday on SmackDown with Judge JBL, who rendered his verdict after a new piece of evidence was presented to him in the form of cold, hard cash. Tim, your look says it all. Tell me what you feel.
I was very disappointed by that segment.
Well, Jables made the match for Sunday after months of Miz accusing Otis of showing negligence towards use of the briefcase, among other things. And I guess really the big question is, while Otis is out to prove to Miz and to the world that he's worthy as number one contender for and holding Money in the Bank, Miz wants to remind everyone that he once held that very briefcase and cashed in successfully. So with all of that in mind, Tim, who's going to win this match?
Otis.
Okay, emphatically.
Yeah.
Is there a world where The Miz walks out 2-time Money in the Bank winner?
I think Vince McMahon really likes Otis.
He really liked The Miz.
Yeah, that's true. You could cast him aside. I don't know. I see Otis going over. There's Ham involved.
I mean, yeah, usually when Ham is involved, someone's going to win, and it's usually the fans. So you know what? I think I'm going to agree with you. Let's say that Otis wins the match. Let's finally put it to rest. And the only time I ever want to see Otis back on Raw is when El Gran Gordo makes another appearance.
This all sucks. I'm just disappointed by all of this. I was going to say that like the bribery thing was WWE running court in the only way it knows how, but frankly, they lose a lot of court cases. So I don't think they do have a good command of the U.S. justice system. So,
well, you know what doesn't suck? Checking us out over at timandjoelpod.com every Thursday at 8 p.m. And you can also leave a comment on this video at PWUnlimited. You can like it, you can subscribe to it, and tell us what you think. But also, check us out, 8 p.m. Thursdays, YouTube. Tim and Joel called in the ring. Let's move along, shall we? We have 3 Hell in a Cell matches at this pay-per-view, and they are doozies. Let's start with the Universal Championship. We're going to have the champion Roman Reigns facing off against Jay Uso once again. Tim, we know who's going to win. But the question is, how the hell are we going to acknowledge Roman Reigns after this match?
You know, I think it comes down to what we had discussed a while ago about this being kind of a new faction, right? Where Roman commands the Usos, both of them, when Jimmy comes back. And then maybe some other Samoans make it into the mix, and we got Samoan dominance on SmackDown. They're on SmackDown, right? SmackDown.
They are on SmackDown. And this past Friday night on SmackDown, Roman Reigns did make the announcement that if Jay Uso does not, quote, bend the knee and acknowledge Roman as the tribal chief, the Usos will be removed, banished, excommunicated, whatever word you want to use, from the Samoan dynasty, from the Anoa'i family. That's a pretty big deal. And you and I, we talked about that on our podcast on Thursday. We don't understand Samoan culture. It's not our thing. So we can't really tell you if that is a big thing to lose your family based on losing a match. But that might be a big thing in that world.
Could be. Anyway, I think we hit the nail on the head with this one. We predicted the outcome. I don't think that Jay's going to be kicked out of the family. I think he's going to acknowledge him as tribal chief at the end of this match.
Jay has a lot to lose here. He can lose his family name, his legacy, and the money that comes with being Roman Reigns' cousin. So from this, I'm kind of expecting Jimmy to cost Jay the match. Maybe align himself with Roman, tell him that Jay was being selfish, was being greedy, trying to get the Universal Championship, but not seeing past the fact that his cousin is paying all the bills and really setting up the family for success. And then Jay reluctantly has to, be a part of the bloodline until maybe TLC, when we see Jay actually see the light and join his cousin and his brother as a fully formed heel faction.
That's fair.
Just like we wanted the first time.
Yeah, I mean, it's got legs. So like you can use this, draw this out in a really interesting way. So I'm looking forward to it.
Do you think there's a world where Jay Uso can be a credible singles champion?
Given the promo he cut, like the promos he's been cutting. Yeah, he's been really, really good. So I think he's got the stuff in the ring that could make him excellent. So they could even break him apart here.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Jey Uso go after the Intercontinental Championship. Whether he wins it or not doesn't really matter, but at least to give himself some credibility to build towards another chance at a Universal Championship.
Yeah.
Who knows? Meanwhile, if you're talking about statistics, Roman Reigns is undefeated all 3 times he's been in Hell in a Cell. Meanwhile, Jey Uso enters the cell for the very first time. Oh no, that's not true, actually. This is his second time in a cell.
Oh.
There was a tag match.
There was a tag match.
There we go. So we've already fact-checked ourselves here. That's right. So let's move along before I stick my foot in my mouth further. SmackDown Women's Championship Hell in a Cell match. Bayley versus Sasha Banks. Oh, I'm probably going to put my foot in my mouth here too. This is a match literally years in the making, Tim. I don't know if you know it, but the term "save it for SummerSlam" was literally coined because of this match. Every year, the turn has been talked about. And when it finally happened, everyone said, wait, that's it? Because it's been built for so long. And the idea was always that it would happen at SummerSlam this past year in Boston, in Bosstown. Obviously, we can't do that right now. So this is a feud that's actually starting at Hell in a Cell. Disregard the SmackDown draft episode when they had the DQ match, and that doesn't count. So Tim, what are your thoughts of starting a feud with Hell in a Cell?
Weird. I think it's a strange place to begin.
It's not something that you normally see. Normally, Hell in a Cell is safe to get rid of feuds, to end feuds.
Yeah.
This is the first time we're actually going to see. So it's got to get more brutal from here, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
I guess we're going to find out. Bayley, on the other hand, might have claims to nullify this match altogether, given the way that Sasha forced her to sign the contract this past Friday on SmackDown. Tim, you're a law guy. You are one for law and order, not Law and Otis. Law and order. Do you see a world where Bayley could approach the ring on Sunday, tonight for that matter, and say, this match shouldn't happen? I was coerced into signing a contract?
This goes back to the aforementioned tenuous grasp that WWE has on the U.S. justice system, and no, like, her being able to sign that contract doesn't really count when someone's got your head in a chair. So yeah, she has legal grounds to say, to hell with this, but will that happen? I'm skeptical. I kind of expect this match to go forward, and I don't know where they're going to take it from here if this is going to keep going.
See, I could see a last-minute stipulation added to the match. Maybe something that sees Sasha at a disadvantage. Maybe Sasha loses. She can no longer challenge Bayley for the women's championship while she's the champion. However, I also see a world where Sasha wins at Hell in a Cell and then loses on her first title defense, as is tradition, because it's Sasha Banks, and she loses it at TLC to Bayley, who brutalizes her. We do another stretcher job, takes her out until the Royal Rumble. Sasha wins the Rumble, challenges Bayley at WrestleMania, and here we are. But let's go one step further. Sasha wins at WrestleMania, and in her first title defense, wins that match as well, proving that she can actually defend her title successfully. There's a story in there.
And that's a moment. That's a good WrestleMania moment. I think that would be a great direction to take it. Hopefully that's what they do.
There you go. Well, Sasha is no stranger to Hell in a Cell. This is her third for Bayley, however, and I double checked. This is her first Hell in a Cell match. So there's going to be a little bit of experience on the side of Sasha Banks. Speaking of experience, you want to talk about the man with the most experience going into Hell in a Cell. That's our WWE Championship match. It's going to be Drew McIntyre, the WWE Champion, taking on Randy Orton. This is match number 3, so this has to be it, right?
Yeah, I can't do this anymore. So I assume this will be the big one.
It's time for Drew to cement his legacy as WWE Champion, as he mentioned on Raw. However, Randy Orton is having one hell of a 2020. Mm-hmm. The man picked it up, had a great feud with Edge that's still, for all we know, ongoing, and has cut some of the best promos of his entire career. Will he stop Drew in his tracks as he tries to cement his legacy in WWE?
Yeah, if they're going to surprise me with something, I think it would be Randy winning tonight, because it's within the realm of possibility. He has been doing so well this year, and he's a reliable person to put the title on. There's no question with them that if they give it to Randy, it's going to be a good run. So I still hope that they have the confidence in Drew to keep it on him. I think this match will be really interesting tonight. I think it'll be slow paced, as Randy typically is, but there is room for them to build this really well. Like this, for me, this match is walking on a tightrope between being very boring and like captivating. Like it could be either way. So
we've seen it in the past with Orton. His matches can be all over the place, especially in the cell. His last one was in 2018, taking on Jeff Hardy with the infamous screwdriver through the ear spot. That's memorable. Yeah. And it was still a plodding, slow match inside the cell. So Orton is 4-3 in Hell in a Cell matches. Could this be the time when Orton sees himself at 5-3, or will he match his record at 4-4?
Things could go either way. I'm looking forward to tonight. What I do expect is that the 3 cell matches will be lengthy.
Yes. As Drew McIntyre is stepping into the cell for his first time ever as well. Yeah. So again, the disadvantage is on Drew, but sympathetic baby faces make one hell of a story, don't they?
They do. And this is going to be a night of stories for sure.
That's right. So let's recap real quick. Picks. Elias versus Jeff Hardy. Who you got?
Jeff Hardy.
All right. I'm taking Elias. Otis versus The Miz for Money in the Bank. Who you got?
Otis.
All right. I'm taking Otis as well. Roman Reigns versus Jay Uso. I think we both know the answer. You're taking Jay Uso.
No, Roman Reigns, obviously. Oh. Don't be a tool.
Oh, my bad. So we're both taking Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
SmackDown Women's Championship. Again, in the tied Hell in a Cell. Bayley versus Sasha Banks.
We didn't really call this one. Bayley.
No, we did not. I'm going to go with Sasha.
Okay.
And actually, am I? Yeah, I'm going to go with Sasha Banks.
All right.
And for the WWE Championship, Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. Who you got?
Drew.
And I will also take Drew. There are your picks. Hell in a Cell is tonight. Starts at 7 o'clock Eastern on the WWE Network. There will be a pre-show at 6 o'clock where I assume the Street Profits will take on Drew or Dolph and Ziggler. Drew and Ziggler. Rudolph.
Is, I think what we can go with. It'll be that. Yes. It might be 4-way tag match, right? So
it might be. Yeah, that's right. But we're going to find out because the kickoff show starts an hour before the actual show. So check it out. That's free on YouTube. Otherwise, it's all on the WWE Network. Well, you can find us at Tim and Joel Pod. And you can also find us on YouTube every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern for Tim and Joel Called in the Ring. Tim, where can the kids find you?
They can find me at Tim Stone P, TIMBSTONEP. And you?
They can find me at Joel Pearl everywhere. It's all, just look me up, man. I'm there. Yeah. And you can find both of us also at timandjoelpod.com or every Sunday on PWUnlimited's YouTube channel. Tim in the world, enjoy your wrestling and enjoy Hell in a Cell tonight.